Hey, what is up, everybody? This is episode 26 of Good Kraken's Death Ratio Show. It is Tuesday, August 6th. I'm your host, Devin Stanford, aka Brevin the Dude, and I am joined by three of my favorite people in this godforsaken hellscape that we call Earth. Oh, what's up, honey boobies? Thank you for the sub.
We love you, honey. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Speaking of love, I am joined here today by Ernell's Fire and Brimstone and my Cherry Blossom, Garrick Bartholomew Eaton. How you doing, babe?
Hello. I definitely didn't wake up from a nap like literally the moment that you tagged me before the episode started. That didn't happen at all. I literally came home from work and ate McDonald's and watched one episode of Psych and then took a nap.
You know what? I'm happy you woke up because you don't always wake up.
We almost didn't have Garrett tonight. That's crazy.
No, I set an alarm.
Oh,
No.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
Sometimes
I even sleep.
It did coincidentally coincide with when you messaged me, but I did have an alarm.
See, the beautiful difference between the you two, though, is that Garrick sleeps before the content. Devin sleeps during the content.
No, that was one time. I think Garrick sleeps through the content more than I've slept on the content.
One time I've slept through one piece of content. I've slept through one piece of content.
A part of me wants.
I don't know.
I want to say it was two, but I might be wrong. About that.
Yeah, I feel like it's happened more than once. I feel like it's happened more. I can't
at least slept once.
Like it's happened at least once.
It's
I mean, twice. I swear.
I've slept through more meetings than anybody else, so I guess that's fine. All is forgiven. All is forgiven.
That's true. Speaking of the sleepiness, we're also joined by Shark Daddy 2024, who's being slept on right now. That is Ernell Pearson.
That's right. Shark Daddy for Prez 2024, boys. It is a fucking work sucked. I know. And I'm here with you guys. So now today no longer sucks. So it's a good time. We had breakfast for dinner before hopping on. Had just cause we were like, yeah, let's do breakfast for dinner. So we got.
What was your
What kind of breakfast though? Like, did we do pancakes and bacon?
Yeah.
Pancakes.
That's the go-to
bacon
dinner, I feel like.
and eggs cooked in the bacon grease. So that was
very
really
nice.
Too.
Oh yeah.
And it was a lot of
very
bacon.
nice.
It was a lot of bacon, man. Like a
Very
shameful amount
nice.
of bacon. But it was dank. It was dank. So I'm very happy.
Did you? What kind of bacon? What kind of bacon?
It was that like German center cut. You know what I'm saying? Like the decent stuff. It wasn't that like flimsy bullshit. It was pretty decent bacon. So I was pretty, because like you can't like in the islands and back in NZ, bacon is different than it is here. Bacon's like a big slab of like
that you cut and then you
it's
put
like it's
on,
still
right?
thin, but it's like it's closer to like a ham, like hock, if you will,
like
but in the thin slice of a bacon, and you can't find that anywhere here. And so like I just say, okay, just give me
ham almost.
Just give me very dank, thick cut bacon, and I'll be happy. I can deal with that. So we just found the closest thing we could to that, and that was okay. Now I'm a happy fat boy.
I'm a big fan of the like uncured thick cut like peppercorn bacon. You know what I'm talking about?
You would
Just
like that
peppercorn
pepper bacon, you fucking nerd.
Dude, I love that
you
shit
would like
so
pepper
much.
bacon, you
I like that
fucking
shit to
nerd.
be thick and juicy but crispy on the outside.
This fucking
Shit's-
guy.
It's gotta have
Pepper
like
bacon.
the big chunks of black pepper too.
No,
where, like,
and you
bite
know
into
what it is?
Xander's on my fucking
he
team
wants
right
he
now.
wants that applewood smoked pepper bacon. Is what he fucking wants.
I didn't say that. I said that uncured shit, like the just fucking straight meat.
I like smoked bacon.
He likes street meat.
And listen, I'm talking all this shit. I'd fuck
Concur.
with that too. I fuck with that too. That shit's so good.
Speaking of fucking with that, we're also joined with somebody who fucks with all of us, and that fucking guy it's Xander. What the fuck's
What
up?
up? What up?
Dabbing dog.
No, it's a Tuesday, man. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
Tuesday, innit? We don't get you here often,
I
doggy dog.
texted him making
it's
that
not often.
reference.
Yeah, I brought it back.
Tuesday.
You got to circle back there. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Tuesday, man. I'm tired. I'm tired. after a podcast last night, waking up at 5 a.m. and then I got to wake up at 5 a.m. again tomorrow because we got back-to-back early events that we're doing. Luckily, the rest of the week I should be able to breeze in at like 7 a.m. For the rest of the week. But
easy,
tomorrow
breezy, beautiful
is
cover girl.
Do it. Do the hair flip. Do the hair flip. Do it. Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy.
That was me in high school, dude.
Oh, dude, I just got a haircut over the weekend too. My hair's a fucking mess right now, though. So I'm just like,
oh god,
I could just own it. I could do this for the rest of the
yeah. Should we just all do messy hair today?
Just look like fucking morons. I mean, no, I'd probably not, because we're gonna turn this into content. I'd rather not have someone be like, "What the fuck is wrong with these guys?"
I feel like that's already like a normal thing that people say.
Yeah, I feel like
a conversation.
No,
they people in that reaction. They just do that on their own.
People don't do that very often. Game studios do though.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they
do. That's your segue, Devin. That's your segue.
yeah. Today we're not talking about game studios, or are we? Because we're talking about remembering the Informer, the light fading into darkness, and much, much more. Because this is Good Kraken's Death Ratio, and we're slashing through the podcast space to be your source for all the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live each and every Tuesday in it at 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time, 10 p.m. East Coast, Beast Coast time. If you want to get ahead of the curve, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services wherever you like to watch or listen. But if you've spent all your credits at another shop, that is totally fine. You can watch us record the show. Jesus Christ. Garrick just slipped into my mouth.
Yeah, I did. I definitely slipped into
You can watch us record the show live right here at twitch.tv/Good Kraken Show, where you can see us mess up and make really bad jokes. If you have Amazon Prime, tell them, DJ.
Oh, fuck. Where'd it go?
Oh, yeah, now you can't give me shit.
Prime Gaming. There you go. Gotcha. I gotcha.
You also have Twitch Prime, and we would love for you to give that to us to help us level up our game. You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel. Please do. Clicking that beautiful bell and big red button. Please do. Or by subscribing to our podcast channel. Also do that. By searching Death Ratio and leaving us a review here. Definitely do that. Please.
Definitely do that. Definitely do that.
Yeah, the reviews are super important.
Do it. Do it. Embrace the power of the dark side. Do it.
Derek!
Wow.
We got some critical hits that aren't on your phone. Don't forget we have all episodes of our shows on YouTube and audio listens. Please be sure to go follow us on there for more content. Please.
Audio listens.
Audio listens.
All the audio listens are over there.
All the audio listens.
Speaking of audio listens, episode 130 of the Shipwreck Show is now available wherever you like to watch or listen. That's 130. That is almost 3 years worth of content just on Shipwreck episodes.
Jesus Christ.
Sure is, dude.
Yeah.
Sure is, man. We've been at it for a long time.
That's a lot of content.
Long time.
Anyone else having like an existential crisis about that now?
Anybody want to help support us? Like, think about it. If you guys subscribe, if you guys support us on YouTube, if you watch our videos, we can do more content.
That's true. That is true.
Guys, merchandise is on the way in many shapes and forms, and we will soon be showing it off to you very shortly. It is en route to Mr. Ernell's house, and we will show it off to all you lovely peoples.
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
That'll be here live. That'll be on the Twitter. That'll be on the YouTubes, and then we'll post links for all of you lovely people as long as we think it is deemed usable and wearable for all of you beautiful people out there. Guys, I'm going to be Ernell for a second. Shameless plug. I got something really cool coming out September 6th, and that is a hard to find date now.
Oh my God.
So
Devin's doing porn too?
Yeah.
So be here live on September 6th.
DJ and I are doing
I don't
tag
even know
team
if we have
porn,
content
actually.
on that day, but yeah, that will be the launch of Devin's official OnlyFans on September 6th.
Yep. And we'll post a YouTube link for everybody. That's where I'll be promoting it all at. So
I already know the link. It's onlyfans.com/Brevin the Wood.
That should be a GK t-shirt.
Devin, Brevin the Wound. Sure,
that's a good one.
Sure, yeah, that's great, man. I love that for you. Okay,
we'll make some sweat shorts that are gray and put that in print on one of the legs or something.
we can do
this
that
is
if
why we do this.
We also have to do one for Cocoa Nuts because that was my original.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we should just make bongs that say Cocoa Nuts.
We need to rip off Victoria's Secret. You know how like they do like the pink thing, and like they put it on like the back of their shorts. But we need to do the exact same thing. We need to take it out, but it just needs to say "stink," just "stink" in the big on the back of the short.
Stink. Listen, Garrett's full of ideas, dude.
We can make condoms with just the cumlet symbol on it.
Stink.
We can make condoms with just the cumlet symbol on it.
Oh no!
Hey, listen,
I would wear the fuck out of those shorts.
I still have the cumlet and shitto designs for our t-shirts.
We do have those. We do have those, but we're not telling the people about that yet. Honey did say I'd wear the fuck out of those, just for notes for me and Xander. Just for notes for me and Xander, we might have to make that stink logo soon.
Yeah. And but yeah, in all seriousness, there's something cool dropping that day. So at least I think it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, just
it'd be
it's fine. These guys don't.
Nope.
I think it is.
Sure don't.
Yeah, checks out.
Yeah, sure don't.
Yeah, go catch Ernell's band asking Alexandria to city. Karen, can you tell the people where we got this?
We are heading into our primary segment for our news this evening. So line it up because we're going to the line of sight.
Just did the Taco Bell.
Fucking got you.
Just to be very clear, we are 3 times the band Asking Alexandria ever was.
Okay? 100%. It's still funny.
I mean, it doesn't take much to be better than Danny Horsenap.
Yeah.
Listen,
Danny Horsemouth?
Can I have a wow? That's a name. Yeah. Anyways, we got some sad stuff today, guys, that we got to talk about. This is
we do.
We got some heavy shit here. So unfortunately, that means that we also have 2 very big stories that we're all gonna kind of be swinging together. So buckle your motherfucking seatbelts, and here we go. GameStop shuts down Game Informer, the longest running gaming magazine in the United States. This comes from Ethan Gotch over at Kotaku. Game Informer, the longest running gaming magazine in the United States, is officially dead, and GameStop killed it. It began publishing in 1991 and has been one of the last remaining physical gaming magazines in the world, with cover stories that continued to share deep dives and exclusive interviews on the biggest games coming out, from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth to Star Wars Outlaws No More. Staff at the magazine, which also publishes a website, weekly podcasts, and online video documentaries about game studios and developers, were all called into a meeting on Friday with parent company GameStop's VP of HR. In it, they were told the publication was closing immediately. They were all laid off and would begin receiving severance terms. At least one staffer was in the middle of a work trip when the team was told. The sudden closure of Game Informer means that issue number 367, the outlet's Dragon Age the Veilguard cover story, will be its last physical magazine. The entire website has been taken offline as well. The Game Informer Twitter account, which has since been deleted after employees used it to share their bylines one last time, posted the following statement online today, but sources tell Kotaku it was not written by anyone on the team, which was still in the process of making sure everyone on staff was informed about the news. Quote, after 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever-evolving world of gaming, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being a part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end. End quote. Excuse me. Quote, a frustrating turn of events, especially considering we were about 75% done with the next issue and it was going to have a great cover, tweeted Game Informer magazine content director Kyle Hilliard after the news broke. I'm furious about the end of Game Informer, tweeted former video producer Ben Hansen. It was an incredible 33-year run, and then GameStop pumps out this phony, empty farewell message. I'd bet money was written by AI. Fuck you, GameStop, and a huge fuck you to Ryan Cohen. End quote. Oh, shit. Didn't catch that one. I got a lot of tweets. That was not one that I fucking caught. Every URL for the Game Informer website now redirects to the official statement, erasing more than a decade of articles, reviews, and original reports that helped establish a record of the notoriously secretive and volatile video game industry. A recent in-depth feature on the retro game studio Digital Eclipse about the gaming's history, and preservation is one of the stories that is no longer accessible. A write-up about Game Informer's famous game vault containing releases from across its decades-long history is also inaccessible. Garrick, take it away, my man.
More than just a magazine, in its heyday, Game Informer was the leading monthly magazine among a group of publications that included GamePro, Electronic Gaming Monthly, and several others, as well as platform-centric periodicals like Nintendo Power. The Minneapolis-based print publication had since become the only major one left standing in the U.S., known for monthly reviews, editor columns, and wide-ranging previews for upcoming games and access to big names for interviews that few others in the industry could match. Game Informer was purchased by GameStop along with its previous owner, gaming retail competitor FuncoLand, in 2000. This essentially gave the publication its own one magazine newsstand across thousands of stores with GameStop. Customers getting a yearly subscription is one of the perks for signing up for the store's reward program. In the days before online gaming blogs and YouTube channels were ubiquitous, thumbing through the pages of Game Informer was the main way many players experienced the world of gaming beyond whatever few they had and their friends owned. In recent years, however, as GameStop has spiraled following the collapse of physical game sales, the massive corporation behind an albatross around Game Informer's neck, weighting it down with clueless middle managers and contradictory and ever-shifting directives. Despite its meme stock explosion, which has netted it billions in the bank, GameStop has continued cutting jobs across its business, including nearly annual rounds of layoffs at Game Informer. Longtime editor-in-chief Andy McNamara left to join Electronic Arts in 2020, with departures of other senior staff following amid the ongoing crunch. As someone who was there at issue 1 and spent most of their life fighting and scratching and clawing for Game Informer, it breaks my heart to see it end. He wrote today, GI will always hold a special place in my heart. As always, the people who matter. We are what an amazing journey for us all. GI forever. After dropping physical issues of Game Informer from its rewards program, GameStop finally let the publication start selling to subscribers again a couple months ago. It seemed like a new, more independent being of sorts, or at least a prelude to the decades-old legacy outlet finally getting spun off or sold. Game Informer's closure comes as GameStop CEO Ryan Cohen continues shitposting about the 2024 election. In an email to staff later last year, the executives called for extreme frugality and criticized money wasters who didn't contribute to the company or its success. He's currently being sued by the former company behind Bed Bath & Beyond for $47 million in insider trader profiting. This guy's a piece of shit. Insider trading is like a huge no-no, by the way.
Massive
if anybody
no-no.
does it, it's like this is a massive
fucking no-no, dude.
fuck you,
Ryan Cohen. Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Fuck you, Ryan Cohen. You literally probably ruined my favorite fucking magazine. You honestly closed my favorite fucking magazine. I literally was one of those kids that literally just begged my parents for a Game Pass Pro membership when I was like 14, picked it up in like 2005 when I was in middle school, literally held it, literally renewed my Game Informer year after year after year, using my rewards points from visiting GameStop, doing yearly trade-ins, monthly trade-ins, all that stuff. I always kept my subscription up. I always kept my stuff. I was always receiving my Game Informers. I literally, I loved my Game Informer so much. I remembered actually going and making the point to change my shipping address when I moved to Utah so that I would still get my physical Game Informers. Like, it was my source of gaming news for a very long time. And like, we use it on this podcast fucking weekly. This sucks. Everything about this just really blows, guys. I'm like kind of crushed to finally see this go. Like, I love everything about Game Informer. Like, this really feels like the absolute end of an era. It's so massively disappointed. And I literally hold Ryan Cohen and GameStop personally responsible for this. They should have sold this off or done something to keep this alive. And the blatant disregard for physical history and for journalism and preserving all of this media is disgusting and petty. And I really, really hope that Bed Bath & Beyond wins their fucking lawsuit against this piece of shit.
I hope they get more than what they're looking for too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I hope he ends up in some kind of fucking jail time, because that's
me too, man.
That's just the least of his fucking
like
trespasses.
$47 million fucking dollars.
Tip of the iceberg. Like, I literally, it's just, guys, we all have had Game Informer subscriptions over the years. I know we have. I know this is huge to all of us. So I want to pose a question to the room, right?
Oh, okay.
What are some of you guys' favorite issues? Like, we know how bad this sucks. Like, I don't think we need to spend this whole article rehashing how awful of a move this is. The article makes it blatantly obvious how awful this is, right? So rather than just saying fuck you, Ryan Cohen, for the next 20 minutes, let's remember all of the dope fucking shit that Game Informer gave us. And let's just remember the good times for a little bit. Devin, you've literally got issues in your hand, man. I want to pass the ball to you as our host.
Dude, I probably my longest running subscription ever. From middle school until I was about 24, I was getting Game Informer. Probably like a decade because of GameStop. I literally got it until they stopped providing physicals. That's the only reason why I had my GameStop membership, because I stopped buying games from GameStop probably when I was like somewhere around 2021. I'd say that was about the time that if I wanted a physical, I got it off of Amazon, or I, digitally bought almost everything at that point. Right. Because that's roughly, I'd say, what were we? We were like, I'd say like 22 when PS4, Xbox One came out. Like
really popped off, and it was like the peak of this lifestyle.
Yeah,
I definitely remember like winding down my personal like physical buying, like when I got to like the 22 to 24, like in the 2014, like 2015 era is when I kind of when I slowed down my physical purchases.
Yeah, because I
remember
sure
to keep my points though to get my physical sub for because I wanted the magazine.
Yeah, that's what I did too. And I remember being a kid and looking. I remember the Oblivion issue. I remember the Oblivion issue when they were showing off the Knights of the Nine and making a big deal about it. and stuff, and how it's like one of the first big expansions we're seeing to an RPG that is a direct download. I remember reading up on that thing constantly. I remember my dad plays video games too, right? So I remember showing all that stuff to him. I'd get excited with the new Final Fantasy stuff and how they'd always show the like behind the scenes, like the making of, like they'd have the art stills, like the concept art in their issues and everything. It's really sad to see this go, because this was exactly 1 year older than me. This publication has been around my whole life. It's been one of the most unbiased publications out of all of gaming journalism out there, and probably one of the most reputable ones too. You never see people saying that Game Informer is getting paid to do their reviews. you know
No, right? That
Yeah.
never, literally. They were never like they're like one of the few outlets who's like, I never question the integrity of their shit ever.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't
they
know of
had all
another
the
outlet that I
information.
don't.
Yeah. Xander?
Wait, what was that, Xander?
No, I was just gonna say I don't know if there's another outlet currently that I don't question their validity, because everything is so biased one way or the other nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like GameSpot. They were kind of like my number 2 when it came to online. It would be Bloomberg probably, but I don't pay for their stuff.
I was going to say Bloomberg's probably the most unbiased, just because they look at it from more of a business standpoint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
tech perspective.
Because like Jason Schreier pretty much is like the flagship of that fucking platform, and he is just looking for the truth like at all times. Like,
I mean, Jason Schreier was the reason why I started reading Kotaku. Him and Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Which, bless their hearts, they're not obviously with it anymore. And I mean that in a very positive way, not in the southern,
Kotaku's
not positive way. But they still run a very good gaming podcast as well that I'll give a shout out to real quick. It's called Triple Click. Definitely worth checking out. But yeah, no, I used to collect the Game Informers, and I wish I had all the articles and publications, physical versions of these that I used to have. It's just I've moved so much over the years, I've lost them. I bet you I have a box full of a bunch of them somewhere, which would be really cool to dig out and check out someday. But it's just really sucks seeing that go. We use their calendar because they have one of the most organized release calendars for us too. We looked at their game. Yeah, and we looked at their games releasing every week. It was part of our show, actually. We always looked at their website every week to give you guys the weekly releases of video games and stuff like that. I haven't heard a lot from you gentlemen yet, but Xander, what has your experience with Game Informer been? And what are you going to miss about that?
I was going to loop back around to Garrick's initial question for a second. Like one of my favorite Game Informers, honestly, and I think we touched on it a couple days ago when we found out this news, or just shortly after. I was looking back and I saw a couple of covers of not only Destiny, the Taken King, and this is going to be on brand for today's episode as well, but the cover for the Taken King and the cover for Rise of Iron, like those pieces of artwork specifically just immediately took me back, because I remember seeing that artwork for the Taken King prior to the release of that expansion when I was in boot camp for the Coast Guard, and like I was just immediately like it was bringing back all these warm feelings of like, because you're in boot camp, you're cut off from the real world for X amount of time, and the brief moment where I'm like doing some freaking like whatever on the computer and they let me like stay on there for a couple of extra minutes and I was able to see that, like that was just like such a warm feeling, but there's something about the artwork that went into the covers for Game Informer that was just so special no matter what game, it was, and the amount of detail that went into it. Like they put a lot of hard work and effort into making those covers just stand out amongst the rest. And I think that's another, like, it might be like a low key kind of reason why I actually got into graphic design in a way. Like, just like I wanted to be able to like work for a company like Game Informer and like be the one to like, maybe I'm not an illustrator. I'm not like Ernell where I can like draw like fantastic works of art, but I can put some stuff together. And I would love to have been a part of that team to compile the covers and stuff like that. But it's a shame. It's a shame. Really.
This is for Hades too. Like, look at that kind of stuff that they put in there. You know, it's also like reminiscent because remember when games used to come with like manuals with tons of artwork in them?
With like the centerfold.
This is like
stuff.
very reminiscent of that.
Well, dude,
just
like,
the way that they put their articles together.
It was designed by like people who like clearly had like a love for gaming. Like they like sometimes like their stuff would look like retro game manuals. Like they would put so much into it. I don't know if you guys remember like the 2014 like Dragon Age Inquisition cover was so fucking cool, dude.
That,
with the goddamn with like the dragon on it, and like literally it had like a twofold cover where like you would unfold it and like the dragon would actually be fighting like people on the backside of the dude. It was such a cool fucking cover.
Yeah, man.
And, like,
and it honestly scares me that like there's like it scares me that there's a whole section of, and this is from a graphic design standpoint, but like there's a whole medium of design that's fizzling out completely because we are in this mindset that we have to go digital for everything. And it's like, fucking why? Like do you guys not remember the plethora of movies that came out where an EMP went off and the entire world went into the dark age because everything was fucking digital and we lost track of everything?
So important.
Fucking yeah.
Look at this. This is the very first page of this.
Yeah. I think
very
one of the
first page.
That didn't age
the
well.
biggest things about this is just like the fact that like it feels like there are some individuals that are actively trying to fight against like them archiving this shit, which blows my mind. Like it legitimately like I can't believe anybody would fight against like physical media preservation. It benefits absolutely everybody.
It's like real life Fahrenheit 451.
It literally is. Like it, like I think about Fahrenheit 451 a lot, a lot in modern days. If I'm being honest, that book really rings true. But
yeah,
it's
and this
like
one too.
It's going to be really interesting because there's nothing like Game Informer even now. Like nothing covers all of the things that they do. Nobody really does the same level of like dev interviews that Game Informer does. Like they really knew the questions to ask and what to get out of like the people they were talking to keep those columns and those articles relevant and fresh. And they've done that like throughout the years that they've been a publication. And even when they stopped their physical releases for, I think it was just shot a little over a year, maybe two, that they put that on pause. Like they still were doing lots of digital releases. They were still releasing their podcasts. We still got their release calendar. The one thing that I think stresses me out the most about the closure of Game Informer is there is no other platform available on the internet that comprehensively compiles the list of every major game release for the year. There is nobody else doing it. They were the only fucking ones.
Yeah. Ernell, what about your personal experiences with Game Informer? What are you gonna miss?
I mean all of it, man. I first found Game Informer upon stumbling across the GameStop at Lloyd Center when I was 14 years old, excuse me. And it was
when they had him sitting on the counter. When they just had
they had them sitting on the
right
counter.
there on the counter, dude.
And there was the Batman one from that holiday season that year.
Arkham Knight.
And
Arkham Knight.
And I remember thinking, wow, that's really cool. I've never seen a magazine that was specifically for video games before. And I was like enthralled because I was like, this is cool. Like my mom reads magazines, like my stepdad reads magazines. Like I have never seen a magazine that was dedicated to this stupid thing that I really, really love. And so I begged, like, can we please buy it? Can I please get it? My mom was like, yeah, sure. Cause it's, Christmas. I'll get you this. You can clean the house 3 times.
Well, there was a stipulation on what
of course, there's a fucking stipulation. So she got me the $12 copy of Game Informer, and I was fucking ecstatic. I read that thing front to back many fucking the time, and and after that, I would go back every month. Once I realized it was a monthly thing, I'll go back every month, and I would go and just look. I would like grab a copy of the magazine. I would just start flipping through in the store. Like even if I wasn't like looking at any of the video games, I was just very quickly like skimming through the pages really fast. And I eventually convinced Mom to let me start doing the monthly subscription thing for a little while. She did it for maybe 2 months and was like, no more of that. Oh, God damn it.
He just keep going. He'll be right back.
Okay. All right. There we go.
Hi, I'm Don Cheadle.
Hi, Don Cheadle.
Thanks, Don.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I have a really, really long history with this as well. And I think that's kind of the thing for me is like, this was one of the things that got me interested in art when I was younger. Kind of just the same that Xander was saying too, that like, it wasn't necessarily the thing that got me into graphic design, but it was the thing that had me at a very young age thinking, wow, I could do art for video games. Right. And for a really long time,
journalism.
Right. And for a really long time that like that magazine alone had been some weird sort of like catalyst in some way or another for a lot of people that work in the games industry today, and did for a really, really long time. Like I'm sure we could go and ask anybody in the fucking games industry that currently works in the game industry, any of our fucking friends, that, hey, did you read Game Informer when you were a fucking kid? And they would automatically say yes, because that's how like deep in our roots this magazine is, because it was the only gaming magazine like that was like readily available, because it was there on the counter every time we went to the game store. It was there, and like and the people there at GameStop didn't give a fuck if you came in and just stood there for fucking 20 minutes and read the whole fucking thing.
I literally used to do that shit. Sometimes I would just flip through the counter, especially when I was like waiting for my new copy, because I used to visit GameStop all the time, especially in the 2010s. Like that was like a prime time to kind of be like a GameStop like a patron before like shit got really bad.
Yeah, man. And that goes to like show even that, because I'm sure all of us have had times that we've done that ourselves to some extent or another, that the Game Informer magazines just play like such a pivotal point in our lives. And the thing that's going to suck about this a lot is not just the lost jobs. It's not just this piece of shit probably going to find some other way to make a bunch of more money another way. It's not just this kind of being a, kind of cause because of the economy and they're panicking about it. It's that, like we mentioned, there's not a whole lot of very honest video game publications anymore. Like video game journalism publications anymore. And because they're so few and far between, it hurts real hard when we lose one of the ones that we're like, yeah, that's the one. Those are the guys. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Garrett.
especially when the one that we openly dislike and like fight against as a group, it literally is buying the other ones that are good.
Yep. I was actually thinking that very same
Literally,
thing. I was waiting for it, so.
the other primary gaming outlet that we notoriously were just like, you guys are kind of clowns. Literally is buying the other good gaming outlets.
Yeah, hilarious that they talk shit about Deadpool and Wolverine, yet every single day they post like 7 articles about Deadpool and Wolverine. What about this from this? Hey,
Dude,
they said they want to do this, but couldn't do this.
They're literally they literally click farm.
Desperate for clicks.
It's
they
awful.
didn't. You guys are. All right.
That's what journalism is nowadays.
I'm not even. I don't think that they were hating on Deadpool and Wolverine as much as you guys thought, but
yeah, they
that's
were.
fine.
They were saying it is unnecessary, and they need to treat comic book fans better for
what was the score they
meta
gave it?
content.
What was the score?
I think they gave it a 7.
Pretty sure 7's actually a good score.
No,
Crazy.
versus the Marvels, which they gave an 8.
Uh-huh.
And you should see the conversation they've been having. Actually, I'm gonna look it up right now.
I follow them on all their platforms. It's not like I haven't seen it.
Same.
It's just when someone says
when
someone says this is a 7 out of 10 movie, and everyone's like, "Why do you hate Deadpool Wolverine?" They're like, "We don't, dude. We just said it's a 7 out of 10."
It wasn't just the rating. It's the way it's how they've been talking about the film.
Sure.
It's
sure.
like it's specifically they've specifically been tossing out stuff like that, like it was the movie just used senseless violence, that like it essentially was like that it was a hollow film, that literally it was based, they literally just called it a fan service film, and then it had had nothing else going for it.
It was weird. Of course. I just don't think that they hated it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a bit of
I think some people did, because I've read some of the articles that they posted.
Probably. And see, that's the other thing too. Is that
There's
like,
definitely there's a notable bias.
There's also just like a whole bunch of different hands in the pot, right? So it's like hard to kind of like really know who's feeling what about what, you know, because it's like you'll get the person who reviewed the movie and gave it the score, and then there's another person who wrote an opinion piece about it 2 days later who has a completely differing opinion from the original score that was there, because they don't do it as a group. They have one guy, they have one person. They say, "Hey, you're gonna do this," and he says, "Okay, I'll go watch it." He goes and watches it, and then brings back the report. Like, he's not gonna feel the same way as Sally Jane did over, Down Out of 3. You know what I'm saying?
Listen to this though.
Oh, here we go.
Opinion piece. Carlos Morales. Hey Hollywood, the fans deserve better than movies like Deadpool and Wolverine. Really? Is this the best you can do?
It's specifically those takes. But no, like one of the things that's like I think it's just very interesting is like Game Informer actually maintained its journalistic integrity, and it's very notable that we are now getting younger contributors that are getting hired on to these to work at these publications, or to work on these publications, excuse me. And a big part of that is that these new writers understand that intentionally writing like combative and inflammatory pieces that notably go against like the norm opinion is going to farm them views. And literally you literally don't have to read an IGN article. Like, if you click it and read that fucking headline, they got their money from you. Like, mission successful. Like, literally, like if you're that person that's just getting mad at them and clicking on the thing and then reading the little blurb under the headline and being like, "Fuck you, IGN." Like, you're the reason that IGN still exists.
Right.
Because they know that being inflammatory, just like Kotaku knows that being inflammatory gets them views.
Yep.
Which is why we're going to really miss Game Informer, because they didn't do that.
They didn't ever do that. They didn't really ever have to. I feel like because they were sort of like one of the godfathers of gaming, news, that they were able to just kind of be like, yeah, this thing's coming out. It was like, yay, thanks, Game Informer. And
they're like, here's a technical review. Here's interviews with the game developers. and the creators of it. And here's some behind the scenes of how they made the game. That's what Game Informer
and,
did.
and they're like, buy it or don't, your call. We gave you all the information readily available.
Yeah. Here's our score. This is what we think of it.
Like we're not going to impose our views.
One thing I also really liked about Game Informer is they did this the whole time. They were also like really interactive with their community. They actually had a good podcast too. It was just the Game Informer podcast. I used to listen to it all the time. But they would have the community send in artwork, and they would pick like 5 to 10 art pieces, and they would put it on display and do like literally take up a whole page for the piece that they liked the most. It didn't even matter like how talented the person was. Like one of these Game Informers has a drawing from a little kid that did with crayons about NBA 2K. And they made that one, it's like stick
it's about
figures.
The passion for gaming,
exactly.
Man. It's about the passion for gaming.
Exactly. And yeah, it's sad to see. And like it opening up, I didn't think much of it, but like opening up that first page and seeing that like, hey, we've been around for 33 years, help us be around for 30 more. Like they knew this was coming too, which is the sad part. And it sucks that, somebody out there who just has the capital where they could just keep this running just doesn't do that, which I understand we're falling closer to a recession, but it sucks that we see companies like this that have done so much goodwill for the community and the industry at large. Like they were one of the biggest providers for E3 back in the day when E3 was the big thing. Game Informer was front and center. You remember getting those
would cover the
E3 articles?
Yeah, dude. It like literally like E3 we would do. E3 was usually like July or August, right? Usually August.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if I remember, like they do like the August, like E3 be August, and then it was that September edition would be fat as hell, dude.
And they also did their Game of the Year issue where they put the Game of the Year on the front cover and give away all the awards and everything too. And before we had the Game Awards, like the actual show with Jeff Keighley, it was Game Informer that was the most viable outlet for all of those awards there,
dude. And even when Jeff Keighley came on the scene, they still covered him doing his Game of the Year awards. Like when Dragon Age Inquisition got Game of the Year from Game of the Awards, like they covered all that shit. Because it wasn't about like, oh, like come read our Game of the Year review. It was about covering what mattered in the industry. And they understood that like we could have our Game of the Year and they can have their Game of the Year and we can cover both and it can still be important because it's important to the industry. Like it was an important event and they understood that beyond their ego. I have like a deep, deep hope right now that these archives digitally exist. They are still there. And anybody, please, I know there's one of you out there, one of you multi-million-dollar fucks. I know you're out there. Buy this shit. You will literally not regret it. Like find a way to like get this, like buy this out from GameStop. Please, somebody, God, anybody, like buy the rights for Game Informer, reignite everything. You will like be saving a massive part of the industry. I don't even give a shit if we need to like come together and like do like a fucking like a co-op. Let's do a video game co-op, like, and we'll all buy Game Informer together and bring it back.
I wish. But with the way things are going for Ryan, he's probably going to want to try and sell it for $47 million.
Yeah.
With that being said,
it'll be 50 million because he's going to want to make some overhead because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
To answer, if I could,
answer
Shane and DJ Flight's question in chat. PC Magazine and Game Informer were the ones that had demo discs in them sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Game Informer was one of them. That was one of the selling points that got Game Informer to where they needed to be. So,
and PlayStation Magazine too with the jam packs.
Jam
packs. Yeah.
And Xbox had their own official magazine too with demo discs as well.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that era. I miss that era of gaming so much. It was so innocent.
Yeah, man. I had a Game Informer demo disc that I just like beat to the fucking ground. That had like Parappa the Rapper and like SSX Tricky and just like a Silent Hill demo that was on there. Just like a whole bunch of different little demo things. I was like, oh fuck yeah. And I didn't have a whole lot of games, so
yeah, when I first got a PS2, there was only a couple games that my dad got. It was like Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, great fucking game. Great game. But we didn't have Final Fantasy X yet, and I had some friends with it, but we had a demo disc from Game Informer that had the Besaid run where Titus is collecting all the characters on his way to the boat, and it's literally from the village all the way to the boat. And I played that for hours growing up until I got Final Fantasy X. It was like later that year, but I played that for hours and hours and hours.
Good old demo disc, man.
But yeah, I just want to do one more farewell. Rest in power, Game Informer. Rest in power.
Fuck you, Ryan Cohen.
Yeah,
fuck you, Ryan Cohen. Rest in power, Game Informer. Ernell, could you tell us what we got going on next?
Not Ryan Cohen. We have well, very quickly, we actually have to go over our games releasing this week.
I looked at it. It's not weekly release.
It's not. Okay. So we're gonna. Well, wait, no. I updated the link.
No, the link is not weekly releases. It's monthly releases, and it's only AAA games.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll wait on that for now. I'm assuming we're just gonna be pending on that until we figure out a good replacement.
Until we find a new source for Game Informer, because one's not good enough. We'll do our best. Honestly, guys, I might start doing the fucking homework myself. I might start doing the homework myself.
There you go.
Pulling up.
There you go.
And start pulling up like what's releasing for you guys.
Welcome to GK Informer.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. GK
Informer.
I'm not gonna.
Hey, if Game Informer comes back, hire all the old staff, but get a partnership with us too, please.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'll use this podcast as a resume.
Yeah.
I'll go get hired on at the rebirth of Game Informer.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. I was hoping that we could get Rooster.
We'll take everybody but Ernell. He talks about his ass too much.
Yeah, they want to have us.
No, that's going to be why they take him. They're going to be like, I like the cut of your jib, but they're going to meet his ass.
Ryan Cohen's like, I like ass.
They're going to be like, you can write for us, but you got to make a cheat comment every article.
I would do that. I'd pull that off.
DJ, yes, there's some of us that are actually interested in Black Ops 6, mainly because we don't have to actually buy the game now. But no, I have not seen the leaks. We should talk about this after the show, though. Definitely.
We also don't like talking about leaks on this podcast, so just bear in mind. Anyways, so I guess we have our headlining segment, the Endgame.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, which Game Informer unfortunately fought against, and they were snapped away.
Unfortunately. But we do have a different
didn't feel so good, Mr.
story.
Bungie announces mass layoffs less than 2 months after Destiny 2, the final shapes launch. This is by Eddie Makic over at GameSpot. Destiny developer Bungie has announced a significant round of layoffs in what is just the latest example of a major studio cutting hundreds of jobs. The company also revealed a brand new game, but it will no longer be developed internally and is shifting to a new internal studio at PlayStation. In a blog post, Bungie executive Pete Parsons confirmed the company is cutting about 17% of its workforce, or around 220 people. Late last year, Bungie had a round of layoffs affecting more than 100 people. So we're probably looking at 330 people, give or take. Quote, due to the rising cost of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions, it has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon, Parsons said. The executive said layoffs are happening at, quote, every level of Bungie, going on to note that most of Bungie's executive or senior leader positions are impacted, except for his, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone affected by the cuts is getting a generous package that includes severance pay, a bonus, and health coverage for a period of time. Parsons went on to say that as part of the shift, Bungie is deepening its integration with its parent company, Sony Interactive Entertainment, called that. Parsons said about 12% of Bungie's remaining workforce will shift to internal positions at Sony Entertainment within the next few quarters. Additionally, Parsons said Bungie is working with PlayStation to spin out of its incubation projects to form a new studio with PlayStation to continue work on this game. This is an action game set in a brand new, quote, science fantasy, end quote, universe, Parsons said. This will be a time of tremendous change in our studio, Parsons said. How did Bungie get into the positions to have to make these dramatic changes? Parsons said its original plan was to have several incubation projects going on at the same time, each of which had senior development leaders working on them. But this approach didn't work out. Shocker. Quote, we eventually realized that this model stretched our talent too thin, crazy, too quickly. It also forced our studio support structures to scale to a larger level than we could realistically support, given our two primary products in development, Destiny and Marathon, Parsons said. Parsons also noted that Bungie's plan to do this ran headlong into what he described as a broad economic slowdown. Crazy. Along with a sharp downturn in the video game industry overall, and Destiny 2 Lightfall failing to reach Bungie's quality standards. Quote, we were overly ambitious. Our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red, he said. After this new trajectory became clear, we knew that we had to change our course and speed, and we did everything we could to avoid today's outcome. No, you didn't. Even with exhaustive efforts undertaken across our leadership and product teams to resolve our financial challenges, these steps were simply not enough. You didn't do shit. Following the layoffs and internal shifts, Bungie will have more than 850 employees who are working on Destiny and Marathon, Parsons said. This dramatic action comes just after Bungie released Destiny 2's The Final Shape expansion, which was positively received by fans, and I'll add critics alike.
Can I just say one thing? Every single quote from Pete Parsons that you read out loud made me physically sick to my stomach.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice how condescending I got over keywords?
Also, like, just to paint this picture like visually clear, I hate the way this shit's worded, because like Bungie's out here making it sound like they're trying to create like the next big thing for you. Marathon's not fucking new, by the way. Marathon has literally existed since 1994. You guys, this is not a new. This is literally not a new IP. They're just rebooting it, which is the laziest fucking thing you could do. Like, they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna lay off our fucking studio and then reignite some dog shit franchise nobody's giving a fuck about in 30 years.
There is more to this that Xander has to read now, because there's a whole other second half of this article here. Xander can speak on it really quick.
Coming off the heels of that, so these Bungie layoffs also include senior execs Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy. This comes from Timur Hussein from GameSpot. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy, two senior executives at Bungie, were both part of the recent round of layoffs, according to a new report. Speaking on his Game Mess Decides podcast, Jeff Grubb confirmed that the duo were working on Payback, a new game set in the Destiny universe, but were let go as part of sweeping job losses at the now PlayStation-owned studio. Quote, Smith and Noseworthy were labeled as working on Payback. It was going to be the next big thing for Destiny, but not Destiny 3, end quote, Grubb said. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy are no longer at Bungie. They were let go. They were caught in the executive and leadership shakeup mentioned in the blog post. Payback has been shelved, end quote. Update here. Sources have clarified that Smith and Noseworthy's departure came as the Payback project was shut down, after which executive restructuring meant they had no path forward at Bungie. Smith was executive director at Bungie and became a notable public-facing representative for the studio, having guided Destiny 2's narrative back to a place that excited fans and more clearly set up a long-term story for the sci-fi shooter, which, to mention, I used to get so excited seeing Luke Smith pop up in those Vidocs. Likewise with Noseworthy. Noseworthy, meanwhile, was vice president of the Destiny universe and responsible for the overall strategy of Destiny as an intellectual property and a business. GameSpot has contacted Bungie for a statement on July 31st. Bungie executive Pete Parsons, fuck that guy, confirmed the company is cutting around 220 people from several departments. This number represents 17% of its workforce. A further 150 people are reportedly being moved around Sony Interactive Entertainment, quote, due to rising costs of development and industry shifts, as well as enduring economic conditions. It has become clear that we need to make substantial changes to our cost structure and focus development efforts entirely on Destiny and Marathon so I can afford more cars, Parsons said. He also indicated that layoffs at, quote, every level, end quote, of Bungie, and that, quote, most of Bungie's executive or senior leader positions are impacted, except for Mr. Pete Parsons. As part of the layoff announcement, it was also confirmed that Bungie is working on a brand new game, but it is not Destiny 3 or Payback. Instead, this new sci-fi project will be developed at the new internal studios being set up within PlayStation. The layoffs follow the release of Destiny 2's The Final Shape expansion, which was very positively received by fans, us as well, and our own community here. Although Destiny 2 remains one of the most popular games as a service titles on the market, the significant job losses at Bungie have called into question what content players can expect going forward. According to Grubb, the larger expansions that Bungie has traditionally released are unlikely to return, and players will instead be given smaller content packs. Bungie is also working on a new Marathon, which is coming back as an extraction shooter, which, to what Garrick was saying, yes, the Marathon did exist. That was it served as the inspiration to the Halo series that Bungie was later known for. However, they are completely restructuring the idea of what Marathon is. Also, fuck you, Pete Parsons.
Ernell, I saw your hand.
Yeah, sorry. I just,
His name is Pete Carsons now.
guys. Shane in chat asks, why does it sound like they're giving up on D2? So it sounds like D2 has no more future. Shane, to you, I say that is exactly what the fuck they're doing.
You're right. You're correct.
They decided that Destiny was not giving them as much money as they wanted. So they pretty much just said, we're just going to run the most skeleton crew to continue on with this game, to save face, and continue to just kind of eat up what little small increments of money we can still get off of it. Just hope that this other project that we're working on is going to bank in for us. Well, fun fact, and I would put my money that it is fucking not going to. Guys, this is fucking sorely disappointing. And I fume at that. Like, we just talked about this last night. I've been struggling with this whole ordeal with of trying to wean off of fucking Destiny myself. This has made me so fucking furious as we've seen the conversations around this unfold since the initial announcement of this layoff, because there's some information that this these two articles did not mention, because we know a lot of people that worked for Bungie that were putting out tweets that we saw having conversations about this, everything including information about Pete Parsons, a car auction listing with his sign-in name of the $2.7 million in cars he's purchased since Sony purchased Bungie.
That could have kept so many.
And I did a count.
$2.7 million could have easily kept like 2 to 3 developers in position.
I did a count.
Just from there.
That is 17 cars, 6 motorcycles, and 4 vintage pickup trucks.
Yeah, what an asshole.
And then on top of this, other information that came out is he was bragging about it to his employees days prior to these layoffs happening, was not making eye contact with them, was telling them, you should come to my place and see these cars that I just personally bought.
He fucking knew. This
guy is an absolute piece of shit. I have zero forgiveness. He's destroyed an entire legendary studio. Okay, this studio has done shit for the games industry that a lot of studios haven't fucking done. And he and whoever the fuck he agreed to do this with out of SIE are just fucking gross. This whole thing is fucking gross. There's people still working for Bungie that if they weren't depending on their livelihood with that studio, they would also be fucking just quitting. Like, I've seen numerous tweets from people out of the Bungie studio saying, I don't even want to fucking be here anymore. I miss my friends. I don't want to fucking be here. This isn't good. This isn't fun for me anymore. Bungie took a fucking frag grenade, pulled the pin, and just held it close to their fucking chest and said, who fucking raw, dog? And they were cool with that. Like, this is so fucking frustrating because there is so many people that have loved Destiny for the past decade, for the past a decade. We were just about to hit the 10-year anniversary for D2, dude. Just about to. And they couldn't even fucking last that long for it. And they think Marathon's gonna pull us back in? That's what they're thinking here with their fucking, like, bombing. Here's the other fucking fun information. They said that they were cutting 17% of their fucking workforce. Well, 17% of their entire workforce that they had was not 220 people. It was 340 something people. So they actually let go of more people than they were initially actually saying they were. So these
That's
guys
also on top of the October layoff. So we're at like over 400 total employee loss here in like just under 9 months, 11 months.
This is almost a third of their fucking studio that they've gotten rid of since they gotten purchased by fucking PlayStation, dude. This is nuts, man. It's fucking nuts. Devin, go.
I hate to be negative about it, but I'm pretty sure I said something that Sony was going to run this company into the ground when this purchase happened. I mean, Pete Parsons is obviously like a big factor to all of this, but the fact that he's trying to sugarcoat and said we did everything we could, blah blah blah.
Shut the fuck up.
If you did everything you could, you would have lowered the amount of how much money you make for just fucking talking out of your asshole, and you would have sold some of those cars to make sure that people had jobs still.
Or just never bought them in the first place, knowing that your studio was going to get like
and
be smelled out.
And here's the thing. Okay, I don't know if I can ride that wave with you. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I'm cool with CEOs making CEO money. I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with them earning that money and then bragging about it before he's about to fire a quarter of his fucking studio. Like, that's fucked up. Because if I had a manager that just days before me getting fired or laid off or something like that was kind of like, must be nice having all this money, huh? It feels really good running this place and making lots of fucking money off of it. Sounds great. That could be you or no. Well, yeah, you're right, dude. That could be. That sounds awesome. That sounds great, man. They're like, yeah, come over for dinner sometime. And then they fire me 2 days later.
That's some horrible pissed. Bosses level shit.
I'd be fucking pissed.
I just want to give a great example. legendary game designer Shigeru Miyamoto willingly took a 30% pay cut. Other board members also cut their pay by 20% to avoid any layoffs or firing staff at Nintendo. That
100%.
is good leadership.
Nintendo
that
and
is what you
FromSoft
do
right now.
Yeah. That is what you companies.
So cool.
Wait,
Miyamoto is. I just like lagged
that
out.
was amazing. You literally lagged out so hard it tried to log you back in.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, like legitimately though, like that is a fine example of how you take care of your team and your company, is that you take the pay cuts at the highest level where people are making millions of dollars, so that way you can cover your staff and keep the company running. The fact Sony and Bungie had that opportunity to do it, and they knew that this was coming for years, literally 2 years, and they did not do that.
But trickle down economics, Devin. If he makes $2 million a year and he spends $1 million of it on cars, then the guy at the gas station gets to make some of that money because he gets to put gas in the car.
I pump my own gas.
All right, Reagan. Dude, this has been something that's kind of been strange for me to kind of experience, because like I chose a little earlier to just willingly step away from Destiny, but like I was happy for y'all, and this has been really weird for me, as like I feel like I'm on the outside looking in. It's been very odd, because like I feel like when the final shape got released, it was like I was like Merry and Pippin standing on the shore watching all of my friends go to the Undying Lands, and I was like, they fucking did it. I'm like, even though I'm not going, I'm so fucking happy that they get like the thing that they work so hard for, right? Like, you guys deserve this. You put in the time. I'm so happy that you guys are gonna get on that little boat and go off to the Undying Lands and have a great, wonderful time. And then I watched you guys start to sail away, and then as your boat reached the horizon, it burst into fucking flames.
Yes, that's exactly what happened.
All of my friends are panicking on deck, trying to jump off the edge and paddle their way as fast as they can back to shore, and they're all being devoured by sea creatures in the process, losing their hope for gaming because their favorite game and studio's fucking everything up. Literally, Xander's just like, I don't even want to play any game right now because this has left a horrible taste in my mouth. And like, I legit feel like it is not just you guys feeling this, and it's so disheartening. Like, I feel like this is actually crushing. Like, it's actually crushing gamer morale.
I cannot explain the weird emotional roller coaster I've had with this, because like I very, very, very few times in my life have had any sort of situation like this in regards to a video game. I've had a number of times I've like almost kind of been in tears because of this, because like this, the final shape was, and I know that's so dramatic. I know that is so fucking dramatic. I get it.
But these games matter to us.
But like this was the final shape was single-handedly probably one of my favorite video game experiences I've ever had in my life. Not just because the story is dope, not just because it was Destiny, not just because it was like really, really cool to fucking like be back into it again, but because I was able to have this culminated experience after 20, like almost fucking 20 years of fucking video gaming with you guys on a daily basis, every single night for fucking weeks since the final shape came out. And we were in it. We were fucking in it to win it every single night. We were grinding away on shit. It was the fucking time of my life, because I never get to fucking play video games with you guys. And I can never like find any excuse to like play video games with the guys, because we all have like different games that we like, different games that we're currently playing, doing this, doing that. We're all busy, and we all collectively together decided to pick this fucking expansion up, and it ended up being everything we fucking wanted it to be. We did the fucking excision thing. We even like Dude, I haven't played a fucking raid since like year 2 of this goddamn game. And we just said, fuck it one night and did it. And like, we didn't complete it, but we went and we fucking did it because we were having such a good fucking time with this expansion. We were just like, yeah, fuck it. We just want to see more. We want to do more. Let's do more of that. Let's do more of that. Let's do more of that. This has been fucking soul crushing for me because now I don't know if I'm going to have another game. I don't know when it's going to be before there's going to be another game that I'm going to be frequently playing with all of you on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like an almost daily basis at the very, very fucking minimal. It sucks. It sucks because I love playing this game with you guys. I love playing with even more of my fucking friends and having the conversations around it. Now I have to go to like my fucking homeboy Ryan and he's like, dude, let's run some stuff. And I'm like, I don't fucking know if I want to, dude. This just like makes me feel so fucking icky because I don't want to be just another fucking statistic for them to go look and like, I know that fat ass Ernell is over there playing our game still, you fucking stupid idiot. And then I have to be like, fuck, I am a stupid fucking idiot. You're right. Because I am fucking playing this game right now. And I don't want to fucking do that. I just want to play a good fucking video game with my friends. So yeah, a number of fucking times I've gotten kind of fucking choked up about it because I like playing fucking video games with you guys and I really fucking like this game and I miss having that combination of the fucking two together. Okay, like, that's all it fucking is.
Yeah, just knowing that like whenever like the we will have another Destiny game, right? But it's just the anxiety of knowing or not knowing when we are going to simultaneously get a live service game worth playing, right? And having it a great store for your friends, right?
Exactly.
We need those things.
The combination of the two. That's what we need.
The combination.
We need the combination, right? Fusion.
Who fucking knows when that's gonna happen, right? Like Destiny was like the live service game for many players for a long time, and like it just feels like this literally just feels like it's like this literally feels like a fucking Thanos snap. It really kind of does.
Right,
like,
dude.
It literally just like this feels like the most nuclear option. Like I do not see I can never ever see Bungie fully recovering from this announcement ever again.
I called this when Sony bought Bungie that Bungie was going to get fully absorbed by Sony. I 100% said that was going to happen. 100% said it. It's happening right before our eyes.
Well, here's the thing though, is we don't know if this was just a PlayStation thing though, right? Because like there obviously if it I would be able to say that confidently if there weren't other companies also doing a whole bunch of fucking layoffs too, right? But like this was probably I don't know if you guys can agree with this, and Devin, you can maybe attest for me differently if I'm coming into this incorrectly. I would argue that Bungie has been the most fragile big video game studio of the past decade.
100%. Because they've been very but the thing is Ubisoft isn't owned by a larger parent company. Bungie tried to go independent, if you guys remember, and they fucking couldn't do it.
Right. I would go as far as to say that Bungie has been very fragile for a really long time.
I don't know about the most fragile, but they have been a very, very fragile AAA studio for the better part of a decade. Since the release of Destiny 2.
Sure, I can wholeheartedly give you that. It's just obviously the games industry is in a fucking weird state right now. It's obviously in a very weird fucking state. And Bungie, I think, instead of doing what Nintendo did, decided, hey, cannon fodder, go away. You know what I mean? And that just like, no one likes that. You know what I mean? The train's on our end, guys. Sorry. No one likes that. Wow, that train's really on our end. Sorry, audio listeners. I'll let Devin take over for a second while the train goes away.
I think PlayStation might have known this in some capacity upon purchasing. Granted, this is a poor leadership route that made all this happen, because that is 100% what it was. But it's Choo Choo Charles. And
they actually
but
they call me the conductor because I run the train.
No, he doesn't.
Sorry, I had a anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But like this might be even a little too tinfoil hatty, and I will be the very first person to say that in the very slightest, because sure. I it's like one of those things. It's like, I'm having this thought, I don't want to have this thought, but I'm having it. Sony has been very open about wanting live service to be like their next big thing, right? Because they're looking for that cash cow, especially after Microsoft, was moving forward with the Active Blizz purchase, because Call of Duty was kind of a cash cow for them, and in a sense a live service, because they had that deal forever, and now that deal favors Microsoft more than it does Sony, right? In every capacity. Like, Sony will make some money off of digital and physical sales, if any, a small percentage because of their platform, but nowhere near what they made. So I think this was like a way to get live service IP, which is why this marathon game is getting pushed at the same time, out of Bungie. Like, maybe they thought Bungie was going to do good, but they're not. So now they're absorbing like their key players and developers from the studio and absorbing the IP slowly within to, Sony Entertainment, right? SIE. I wouldn't be surprised within the next couple years we see Bungie get dissolved completely, which is a really sad thing to say, because they too, like Game Informer, have been around for a long time. They really pioneered first-person shooters. Like, say what you will about Halo. Halo Combat Evolved changed the fucking game.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Legendary ass studio, bro. Like, this isn't no Halo fucking 2. Joke, dude. Like, these guys did some shit.
Halo 2 changed the gaming space forever. You would not have the multiplayer foundations or infrastructure at all if it wasn't for Halo 2 and the release of Xbox Live, with those two coinciding together. You would not have PSN. You can literally thank Halo not have for, Call of Duty.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, you would not have anything like that if it wasn't for Halo. And Bungie was a huge part of that. I'm pissed off at Microsoft too, because they've made a lot of really egregious calls over these last few months as well.
Of course, right.
We've seen Arcane get shut down. We've seen Tango GameWorks just completely get erased off the map. We've seen over 1,000 employees, developers, community managers, and social media people alike lose their jobs. Oh, the whole DEI team is fucking gone from Microsoft. So I just have this weird thing, because like, I'm just hoping that, like, because they've been having some really weird stuff happen with 343 recently. I'm in a show of good faith, I'm hoping that some of these developers can go back and work on, an IP that they're accustomed to, and also, or grew up with and were inspired by. And it would be really nice, somebody like Luke, to revive Halo to, and have that take the place of what we need as a community and as gamers, and to see developers thrive in areas where they belong. And I mean that soul-heartedly for the sake of 343 and the IP of Halo, not for Microsoft.
No, I mean, you make a fair point too. It's just like the entirety of the games industry is fucking weird right now. Like, listen, we've been talking about this for fucking ages now. The economy is in a really fucking weird state, and these guys are going to make very brash, seemingly irrational, just implosive, ridiculous fucking decisions to save their bottom line as much as they possibly can, even if that means hanging people up to fucking dry. It sucks. It's gonna get worse. Like, it's going to get worse. Like, as we kind of loom closer to this, we're gonna see more studios do layoffs. This is not the last layoff.
Worse, and it's going to get worse.
Exactly. Like this is going to be real fucking hard over the course of even just the next year. I promise you, we're going to see 1,000 more people get laid off in the next 12 months.
And I'm not going to go into any details, and I'm going to be very vague about this, but also with what's going on the other side of the world right now, it's going to make things even weirder for any industry here very soon.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting time to witness, and it sucks. It's sad. And, I think if there's any message I can put out there, and I you guys said it best last night, where I'm trying to look at things optimistically, is really just as a gaming community, support your creators, support your friends within the space, whether they're developers, whether they're content creators, journalists. Now more than ever, anybody within those fields, they just need your support. It's no longer, oh, that's cool. It's like, if you have the means to pay that $5 subscription, if you have the means to buy that indie game your friend made, I think it's necessary nowadays.
Also, get graphic design work from Xander. It's Xander. Twitch.tv/Xander. Yep.
and flood Ernell with commission questions and asking if he can do pieces for $25.
Oh no, I'm way more expensive than that.
I know. The whole
No.
Really? I
Oh
can
no.
go here.
No, I don't want no.
Go on Fiverr.
Yeah, I
and
know,
get this
dude.
for
Those fucking guys.
$20.
That piece of shit. That was kind of like, yeah, man, just make me some art and just like send it my way, and I'll pay you a little bit. And I was like,
a little bit.
What are you talking about? Like, how much is like? How much do you plan on? He's, well, I have a bunch of other people doing it too. I'm like, yeah.
I love how he uses the Mikey Sawyer voice.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It was a pretty Mike
I got a funny story to tell you guys here soon. Actually,
fuck that piece of shit. Yeah, and he was like, oh well, I mean, I'm paying them for their work, and I'm like, how much are you paying those fuckers too then? Because I know that if I send you something, you're fucking paying me for it. Like I'm not giving you that shit for free. Yeah, dude, that's fucking crazy. That's crazy talk. So no, I do not cost $25. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe for like some dudes to go to onlyfans.com/oceantrine, you can probably spend $20 there.
Like you can get a nice handful for $25.
You can exit this episode. A nice handful, babe. How much is a handful? Go on.
I didn't say a handful of what.
Oh.
Jesus Christ,
Okay.
I already felt sick to my stomach about this subject, and now
You're the one who jumped to conclusions.
Baba!
He's the one jumping to conclusions, guys. What if I was talking about a handful of peanuts?
Oh, you don't have to come. It's okay. How much would you charge for someone to get a handful? A handful.
I like how he's keeping it just as big as you left it.
Some ass.
Just a handful.
How much would someone have to pay to get a handful of
What are you insinuating?
What's shop minimum here?
What's the context here?
I mean, just like
just a handful.
Devin said you can just get a handful out of it.
Insinuating?
And I said, he said for $25 you can maybe get a handful. And is $25 is that a good rate?
Reasonable.
Well, I stand corrected. I guess 25 is an all right amount for a
25
handful.
25 for a handful. Devin's on the mark.
I love you.
All right, good for you.
I spoke too soon. Devin, take us out of the episode.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Fuck you, Pete Carsons.
Fuck you, Pete Carsons. Fuck you, Ryan Cohen.
Yeah. I hope he ends up in the beyond after bed and bath.
Okay, yeah, just do your outro.
That was
Thursday,
that was rough.
we have nothing going on because unfortunately, Ernell, myself, and DJ are reviewing the new Borderlands movie, and that will be spoiler free on Friday. 20,000 Films Under the Sea here at 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time, 10 p.m. East Coast, Beast Coast time. Please let us know how you feel about Game Informer being shut down and Pete Carsons and Bungie and Sony defiling the Bungie team and their IPs. Let us know. Join our Discord. Because this has been Good Kraken's Death Ratio, your choice for all the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear live each and every Tuesday at 7 p.m. West Coast, Best Coast time, 10 p.m. East Coast time. If you liked what you heard, you can head on over to our Discord channel where you can submit questions and topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services wherever you like to watch or listen. You can also support us by going to our YouTube channel, clicking that beautiful bell and big red button, or by subscribing to our podcast channel by searching Death Ratio and leaving a review there. We have to go, but until next time.
So I think a handful. I will allow $40 for Maryland and $25 for me. I think mine is a 25 rate. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Fuck you, Ryan Cohen. Fuck you, Pete Parsons. Fuck both of you.